Okay, took freaking forever, but the game audio is now working. Fortunately, I didn't have to re-record anything. This is my first attempt at doing this. However, I spent an hour trying to get it to even work. I'm about to blow all your guys' mind. We're gonna start off small with some awesome new shield models. Come on! I don't know why that's like that. Just pretend that didn't happen. The right hand looks normal. I just have to fix one thing. Not a big deal. I'm surprised it's not fixed. Ugh. Yeah, the other shields are fine. So yeah, new models for the shields. I really like them. They look super cool. Pretty dang awesome. I can't get enough of it. I look at it and I'm just like, oh, that looks awesome. But we have more important things to show off. So starting off, like I said, small. If we kill 10 of these stall children now, we will now have a giant one appear, which, in all honesty, it's not really that much bigger, but it is a noticeable difference, and it's the closest I can get to make it look similar to the game. Seems like a pretty small, pointless change, but I decided to add it because of some new enemies that we'll be coming across that also have the same effect, where if you kill 10, a giant one appears. Next up, something that truly is such a relief to have finished and working. I think I've shown the entire side quest of Lalman Ranch with getting Epona and everything and all the races, but it was broken for so long. There are so many issues with teleporting horses. It's a nightmare. Even right now in 1.16.1, if you teleport any entity outside of like loaded chunks, it just stops existing. But that's not what we're here to discuss, even though I do have to obtain Epona to show off the new stuff. Oh my god. It still doesn't work. It still soft locks the entire game. How many times must I fail before I get to miss this one mini game? And it's failing. What's happening? I tested this several. I thought I fixed this issue. I don't know how to fix this issue. I don't know if it's possible to do anything. I don't like the word issue anymore. All of my happiness is just gone in the blink of an eye. And I'm not done because that's not finished and it doesn't work 100% of the time. But you just... who cares, am I right? New stuff. The important thing is that you can teleport to different places with Epona now. And it works 100% of the time, I swear. I've tried this so many times, there's no way it doesn't work for like a 1% chance for some reason. It always works. It always works. Nothing can change my mind. But anyways, now that we have Epona, if we run past certain areas, we can have big Poes appear, which we can shoot with an arrow to obtain, which I guess I should be doing. They take 2 shots and fall. And we got a big Poe. Now, if we're an adult and we don't have Epona yet, there is like a 1 out of 8 chance that the big Poe appears when you go into an area, but most of the time it's going to end up being one of these guys. And these guys just simply throw fire at you and they can damage you. But anyways, we can go to the destroyed castle town and take them to this guy, the Poe Collector, with which he will give us a purple rupee and add 100 points to our account. Once you are given 1,000 points, you get another bottle, and that is all 4 bottles obtainable in my game now. So other than that slight mess up with Epona is now pretty much completely done, which we actually have one more thing to show off with Epona, which is in Gerudo Valley. So before you couldn't actually take Epona over here because of all the failures, but now we can jump the bridge with her rather than just having to use the long shot. And if we end up falling off the edge, Epona gets teleported to safety while we are thrown down here, pretty much. One more thing I wanted to show off before we go to the Haunted Wasteland is in the training grounds, we now have the final room over here finished. You actually need the silver gauntlets, which can now be obtained. We'll be seeing those later. And it's just a small little room with 3 like-likes once you enter. And once you kill all of them, 2 chests appear, which contain a huge rupee and a blue rupee. And in this one, it is a chest that freezes you when you open it. Only happens once, though. And then there's a secret chest over here, which reveals a small key. You can see that with the Lens of Truth, but I just knew where it was at, so I didn't need it. Now, here's one of the things that's going to absolutely blow your mind. This whole game is completely vanilla, only uses a data pack and a resource pack. No Optifine, no mods, nothing. It's all completely vanilla. You just place one folder in your saves and that's it. So how did I do this? Real life, genuine fog. It's not perfect. As you can see by my items, they are vanishing in the fog, which in some senses makes sense, but not in this way. But everything else about this is pretty darn cool. We can still use items and everything, and we just have to traverse the haunted wasteland. If you go somewhere else, you will take damage and start back at the beginning. Now, if we're being honest, I have absolutely no clue this fog works either, to be honest. It requires a lot of stuff. The main stuff is in the resource pack, but there is one specific thing that is required, which is an end crystal with a glowing effect. I believe the end crystal is always loaded in, even when you're not looking at it, which is why the fog effect is everywhere, regardless of which direction you're looking. The rest, I have absolutely no clue of how it works. The only thing I can give as an example is if you were to summon a creeper, even in just normal survival, and then spectate it, you'll see this, which is a similar effect to what I'm using with the fog, basically. And before we turn fog back on, I just wanted to show off all the craziness and how huge this haunted wasteland is, which you don't even get to see, like, any of it. But it's fine. It was worth it. Didn't take too long to create. But anyways, back with the fog, if we read this sign, we have a carpet merchant, which if we go over here, we will see, and it's pretty much just a scam guy. Oh yeah, I guess we have quicksand. I'll show that off in a second. He sells a mystery item for 200 rupees, which turns out to just be 5 bomb shoes. Not really worth it. And here's how quicksand works. So basically, you stand in the quicksand and you sink. That's about it. However, if you are wearing... I knew I'd need the hover boots. Alright, so yeah, if you're wearing the totally real hover boots, what just happened? Then standing on the quicksand is completely fine, though it does take you to the middle. But otherwise, it's just like normal blocks unless you're not wearing the hover boots. Wearing the hover boots and sink. The rest is pretty straightforward from here. You just follow the flags to the end. This fog is so cool. I love it. I'm so glad it exists. And up at the top of this place right here, we have some sort of plaque, which if we go near it, it tells us that one with the Eye of Truth shall be guided by the Spirit Temple to the Spirit Temple by an inviting ghost. So we will go ahead and do just that. Reveal a ghost, who if we go near will tell us that he'll guide us to the place. Oh, this is a lot harder. He goes fast. Whew. Now that I didn't actually get to test this with fog, so I don't know how difficult this is, but he definitely goes pretty fast. Oh, and a new enemy, which is a bad time. The lever. We'll see a better example of them when we're not in a hurry. But yeah, this ghost will run around. Actually, I don't think he leaves us behind. He'll just spin until we catch up to him. Yeah. So there's not really a time limit. It's just you don't want to completely lose track of him. You'll notice that we did a loop there just now. We actually can just go straight through if we wanted to. There's no penalty or like it doesn't block off until you go around once. So you can actually kind of cheese it a little bit. But anyways, this is completely new. The Desert Colossus. We have 2 new enemies to show off, the Lever and the Gways. But man, this place is huge as well. Lots of building. I will say that while I don't use things like World Edit, I do have my ways of doing things fairly quickly. Like, because this little ring back here only probably took around 10 minutes to create. I didn't all just build it by hand, so don't worry, I'm not that crazy. But yeah, let's get into the new enemies. So if we're standing on sand, these Lever guys will appear. This is one of those enemies that if you kill 10 of them, a giant one appears, so we'll do that real quick. If the levers do hit you, they do sink into the ground. Oh, yep, okay, here we go. So once you kill 10, a giant purple one appears, and this one acts a little bit differently than the others. If it hits you, it still survives. I'm not sure if it goes away if you're on dry land. Yeah, if you're on dry land or if you kill it, that's when it can disappear. Ignoring these guys, we have a new enemy, which is the Gway. If we're standing nearby under it, it will come down to attack us. Very slowly, but surely it will come down and just peck at us and fly away. To save time, because this is actually a really rare enemy to find, we're just going to kill 10 Gways, because it is also one of those that drop summons a huge one after a certain time. And this is probably the biggest of all the giant enemies. This thing summons like a huge one. Still has the same amount of health, only takes one swing to kill, but man is that thing gigantic. Over here we have a bombable wall, which we don't have bombs. And if we blow it up and enter through here, we have a great fairy fountain. Oh, and another new little thing, I used a map inside an invisible armor stand to reveal this, which now that I think about it, yeah, I guess you can still interact with it even in adventure mode. Oh well, just an interesting little Easter egg, I guess. But anyways, we'll go ahead and play Zelda's Lullaby. Sorry, I got held up there for a second. I don't really know where we ended off at, but we have the Great Fairy Fountain here. Oops, I have jump cutscenes on skip, so that went by pretty fast, but we now have a way to... That was like a one-time thing, because I already obtained that, so whoops. You can now obtain Never's Love. I messed up that sentence, because I don't know what happened. Over here, by this little area with the palm trees, if we play the Song of Storms, we reveal a fairy fountain thing. This resets once you leave an area or teleport somewhere else, but once you return and play the Song of Storms again, this will keep appearing. Next up is the actual Desert Colossus. How did I do? I was kind of concerned about this. I feel like it's a little weird, but based on just using blocks, I feel like I did a pretty good job. But anyways, let's go ahead and enter the Temple of Spirits. Something like that. The Spirit Temple. I don't know why I said the Temple of Spirits. We have some plaques over here. If you wish to proceed If you want to proceed in the past, you should return here with the pure heart of a child. If you want to travel in the future, you should return here with the power of silver from the past. What do those mean? I don't know. They made it all confusing. What do I need to be, an adult or a child? You're not supposed to be here. Get out. Of course it was a visual error. Stupid. So because we're an adult, we can't actually crawl through this space. And over here, we don't have the silver gauntlets, so we can't push this block yet. So what do? Your guess is as good as mine. Just kidding. I know exactly what we do. We leave. And we get a cutscene. Sheik awesomely jumps off onto the ground and meets us. I forgot to turn off jump cutscenes still. Or skips. There. We have the owl that appears just pointlessly. But anyways, we can go ahead and learn the Requiem of Spirit. Suddenly Sheik vanishes behind the thing. The sandstorm? Not sure. If you looked, you would have seen that the owl, or if I looked, I would have seen that the owl left. And that's about it. Like I said, the owl is completely pointless. What is he doing here? Why does he fly and why does he just fly out? Who knows? Alright, so this is going to be a little weird because I'm actually already technically an adult. But the Master Sword is still on the pedestal. But that doesn't matter. We're back to a child. Alright, so we're now technically a child again, so let's go ahead and head back to the Desert Colossus. Nothing has changed. Everything's still the same. Other than the owls here again, I guess, for some reason. But yes, now that we are a child, we can now continue exploring the dungeon.